the second most home runs of anyone in the American League. Jose Bautista, he leads the world with 52 home runs. Will a long ball play a factor? It's the Battle of the Birds next. Just another beautiful fall day here in the city of Toronto. It is the final Saturday here at the Rogers Centre, the middle game of a three-game set between Baltimore and Toronto. Hello, everyone. Filling in for Buck Martinez, Sam Cosentino alongside Rance Mullinex, and we've been so blessed to watch Jose Bautista all season long. The hardest thing for any hitter is to balance discipline against aggressiveness, and for Bautista, he really seems to have it down right now.
Well, no one has done it better this year than Jose Bautista, and it's really paid off. A big reason why he's had a lot of success. In yesterday's ball game, he only swung at 3 pitches. In his first at bat, he works the count. He goes 2-1, staying very patient and selective. And then when he gets the one he's looking for, he drives it out of the ballpark deep into left center. In his third at bat in the ball game yesterday, pretty much the same thing. Strike one, he stays patient, waits it out, fouls the ball off, lays off a tough breaking ball, gets another fastball that he's looking for. His patience paid off, 2-run home run. His other 2 at bats, he walked yesterday.
Every manager that's come in to face the Blue Jays is just amazed that when he gets his pitch, he very rarely misses. Well, the conversation comes up when we saw Felix Hernandez in here a couple of days ago pitch a complete game 2-hitter and still lose 1-0. Do he and Jose Bautista have the opportunity to win some season-ending hardware?
Well, both of them, you can make a strong argument that they're deserving, especially with Jose Bautista. His 52 home runs, 118 RBIs would be very deserving of the MVP, but probably a long shot. Felix Hernandez, in terms of the Cy Young, he leads the league in ERA and in strikeouts. And in the last 20 seasons, 13 pitchers have led the league, their respective leagues, in ERA and in strikeouts. 12 of those have won the Cy Young. So if he can win his last 2 starts, go 14-12, it'll be interesting to see if that's enough for him to win the award.
The knock against both players is that they both play in really non-media friendly markets, not in the big cities like Boston, New York, or Chicago. Ricky Romero watched Brett Cecil win his 13th game ahead of Ricky himself winning his 13th last Friday. Will he repeat the feat and follow Brett to 14? He's 3-0 against Baltimore. It's next.
Independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Welcome inside the Rogers Center. You know, Rents, we talked a little bit about the Blue Jays starting rotation, which was such a huge question mark at the start of the season. With Roy Halladay gone, how would this young group react? And they have answered that question in spades. It's been a phenomenal year for this Blue Jays rotation.
Well, it has. The overall numbers have improved virtually in every category, and I think the reason for that is Ricky Romero has continued to progress and develop as a major league pitcher, has really come on. He built on his success from last year. Brett Cecil, he has established himself, made great strides. Brandon Morrow made a mechanical adjustment, turned into a dominating pitcher. And, of course, Sean Markham was healthy the entire season. That most certainly is a big reason why these numbers have improved.
Ricky Romero last Saturday went into Boston, went 6 innings to pick up his 13th win of the year. That tied a career mark. He goes for number 14 today.
And with number 14, if he can win it here today, will tie Brett Cecil for the ball club for the lead. 13 wins, 3.75 ERA in 30 starts. And he's been pretty good against this Baltimore Oriole ball club. You see 197 innings, 166 strikeouts. He's really been dominating the entire year. And career-wise, 3-2 with a 3.42 against the Baltimore Orioles.
With those 3 wins coming this year against Baltimore, Buck Showalter's Baltimore Orioles are 29-19 since he took over, and the lineup he will throw the Blue Jays' way looks like this, which hitting Brian Roberts bats lead off and plays second. Julio Lugo makes his first start since September 4th. Nick Markakis is stalwart out in right field. Wigginton Jones, and then you move down to Jake Fox, who will work behind the plate here this afternoon. Nolan Reimold, the fantastic 2009, hasn't been quite the ride here this year. Snyder and Asturis rounds it out for Markakis, working on a 4-game hit streak.
And defensively this afternoon, behind Ricky Romero, it'll be Snyder, Wells, and Bautista in the outfield. Encarnacion and Escobar on the left side of the infield. Hill and Overbay on the right side. Molina will do the catching this afternoon. Ricky Romero the pitching.
So we're set to get things started here on a beautiful fall afternoon. Brian Roberts steps in. Roberts riding a 5-game hit streak right now, and over the 2010 season is 9 for 22 against the Jays. 287 on the year, and a big reason for this resurgence in Baltimore's record. Coming back, being healthy, playing a solid second base, adding speed at the top of the order. Roberts was sorely missed as he went on the DL early in April.
Well, there's no doubt they missed Brian Roberts. You go back to what he did last year. He set a major league record for doubles by a switch hitter with 56. He also scored 110 runs, drove in 79. So an all-around complete player, and they most certainly missed him for a big portion of the season.
Went on the DL on the 12th of April and didn't make his way back into the lineup until the 23rd of July. So a huge piece missing for a long, long time inside that Baltimore lineup. Romero falls behind 3-1 to the leadoff hitter. Pitch misses away, and Roberts draws a leadoff walk.
Scouting report brought to you by TD. Banking can be this comfortable. Ricky Romero, good arm, throws pretty hard, 89 to 93, depending on grip. He'll 2-seam and 4-seam the fastball. He has an outstanding overhand curve and a swing and miss change. And he, this season, has been outstanding against the Baltimore Orioles, 3-0 against them this year.
That brings Julio Lugo to the plate. He, too, has missed significant time due to injury. Lugo playing the role of the DH here for Buck Showalter this afternoon, and Romero starts him off with a strike.
And, of course, Roberts, always a threat to run off of first base.
Molina has thrown out 45% of would-be base stealers. Foul to the left side by Lugo.
And with the left-hander Romero on the mound this afternoon, that always creates a little more problems for a potential base stealer.
Romero has allowed just 3 of 8 successful steals against, so they don't try often against Ricky. Roberts extends his lead, 1 foot on the turf, not going anywhere, and the pitch misses just a touch up. Lugo was cleared to play September 1st on an errant pickoff throw that hit him in the head. He was suffering post-concussion-like symptoms. Slaps this ball foul of the seats just beside the Baltimore dugout. Went to see a neurologist, was cleared to play, and is making his first start since the 4th of September here for Buck Showalter this afternoon. Romero up on Lugo, 1-2. Swing and a miss. First strikeout of the afternoon for Ricky Romero.
That outstanding changeup, and you could see the great movement and depth that it has. It gets up the plate and just falls off the table. Boy, that's a pitch when he has that good feel for it. That usually means he's going to be a very tough opponent.
We have seen at times throughout the course of the year where the fastball remains relatively consistent, but either the curveball or the changeup comes to the fore and Romero starts, and depending on who's catching him, really leans on that pitch as his out pitch. We saw the changeup there being utilized. Nick Markakis, always a threat. Steps in to face Romero, looks at ball 1, a quick check over to first, keeping Roberts honest. Markakis has made some very minor mechanical adjustments, lowering those hands and now resting the bat on that left shoulder. And he's back at it again. Line shot up the middle. Runners on first and second with 1 down here in the top of the first.
Well, Markakis has been on quite a streak, and he wears left-handers out. And 3 hits off the left-hander Brett Cecil last night, off to a good start against Romero here this afternoon. He comes into the ballgame hitting .348 against left-handed pitching.
And that is best in the American League for a left-handed hitter. All smiles for Markakis at first as he has words with Lyle Overbay. Ty Wigginton hitting .255 with 21 home runs, 74 driven in this year. And has been about as consistent as anyone in this Orioles lineup all season long. A bit of a tear in his last 9 with a home run. 13 for 37 over that stretch. Romero checks Roberts and paints the outside corner for a strike. Romero said he just felt so good coming out of the bullpen after his pregame warm-ups in his last start Saturday against Boston, and the arm has really responded well. Hit right back up the middle. Aaron Hill is there, flipped to Escobar, and a quick turn off balance and turns the double play. How about the athleticism by Junel Escobar?
Tremendous athleticism. Gets the feed from Hill, doesn't have time to square up to first base. Off balance throw, great double play.
League East. Travis Snyder draws back in to lead off. Escobar, Bautista, and Wells, who's had good success in his career against Guthrie. Overbay, Hill, and Lind. And with Jose Molina in the lineup, Encarnacion moves up to the 8th spot with the catcher hitting 9th. First pitch swinging for Travis Snyder. Swings through that Guthrie offering. Guthrie turned 31 years old early in April, shortly after the season started.
Jeremy Guthrie looking for his 11th win this afternoon. Pretty solid numbers, 3.92 in 30 starts. He has pitched 195 innings, so he's been durable, striking out 108.
On a nice stretch now as he eyes that 200 inning mark for the 3rd consecutive year. Fouled off by Snyder. Sometimes pitchers like Guthrie really go underappreciated, but their ability to consistently make starts and eat up innings is huge in any rotation.
Well, anybody that's closing in on 3 years in a row, 200+ innings, he's durable. He can stay healthy and answer the bell start after start.
Pitch in the dirt. Has made 26, 30, and 33 starts over the course of the last 3 seasons. And again, the ability to take the ball every 5th day and eat up innings is huge, especially for a rotation like Baltimore's that features some younger starters.
Well, Buck Showalter was talking yesterday about one of the reasons this ball club has improved is the starting pitching starting to go deeper into the game.
As Snyder is called out on strikes, Guthrie working quickly, and we saw some pretty good athleticism to end the top of the 1st, Rance.
Well, we really did. On the part of Junel Escobar, takes the feed from Hill, right foot on the bag, no chance to square up to first base, throws off balance, and on the money to complete the double play. That is just about as good as it gets.
That kind of acrobatic play we haven't really seen here. You see it from John McDonald on a pretty regular basis, but Tony Fernandez was a guy who you saw make that off-balance throw maybe more than any shortstop the Blue Jays have had.
Throw Alfredo Griffin in the mix when he was young. He was very athletic at shortstop. Yeah, you look back, the Jays over the course of their history have had their fair share of shortstops that weren't just average. They were outstanding defensive players.
We were all enthralled by the play of Alex Gonzalez here to start the season as the pitch goes up and into Escobar. We're just trying to back him off the plate a little bit.
Looked like they just wanted to go up and out of the strike zone and see if they could get him to chase. That one got away from Guthrie and up and in a little bit more than he intended.
Hit on the ground. It's a 2-hopper to the shortstop, Asturis, and there are 2 down.
Right fielder, number 19, Jose Bautista.
As expected, a warm greeting for Jose Bautista, whose 2 home runs last night have him at 52 on the season. Just the 19th player in the history of the game to hit 52 or more home runs in a season. It has been surely magical for Jose Bautista. The 0-1, another breaking ball, and Bautista's a little out in front.
And he hasn't let up any at all. He has now homered 9 times in the month of September. So he's not satisfied.
Pretty good pitch there as Bautista is caught looking. He's had such a great eye all year with his 98 walks, but will not get the call there from Jim Reynolds.
struck out 20 in 23 2/3 innings of work. Make that 24 2/3 at this point.
And he will face Adam Jones here in the top of the second inning. Fantastic double play to get Romero out of the top half of the first. And he comes out firing a strike to Jones. "19 home runs on the year for the Baltimore center fielder. Yanks this ball just foul.
Well, he's been on a pretty good roll, but he had a tough night last night. He was 0 for 5 and struck out 3 times. He hit the ball hard just once. As his first at bat, first pitch he saw. He lined out to center field, but a very good-looking young player.
And has had some success in his career against Ricky Romero. 7 of 20 coming into this at bat. And he will add to that as he goes up the middle. Leadoff hitter aboard for the second consecutive inning. You've watched Ricky Romero all season long, and the one thing that's really has stuck out to me is there are so many balls hit right back up the middle against Ricky Romero. I mean, he's made a ton of plays himself. He's been hit a few times, and balls like that. We saw Nick Markakis do it in the first inning, and Jones leads it off here in the top of the second with a ball hit right back up the middle. Jones with his lead. Romero deals to Jake Fox.
Well, if you're going to have success against Ricky Romero, especially as a right-handed hitter, is you've got to let the ball travel a little bit because he has such a great changeup. You get a little bit pull happy against him as a right-hander, and he's going to take advantage of that with that great change. So the right-handed hitters predominantly, they really try to lay out over the plate, at least those who have some success with him, which is going to lead to a lot of balls back up to the middle into the opposite field.
Fox has come out swinging and finds himself in an 0-2 hole. Romero deals low and in. With the ground ball induced in the first inning, Ricky Romero has now induced 24 ground ball double plays, and looking for more of that here in the second. Jones extends his lead a little over at first. Romero with a good long look. And this one hit past a diving Edwin Encarnacion and into left field. And now there are runners at first and second with nobody out here to kick things off for Baltimore.
Well, this is an offense that's much improved since Showalter has taken over. The ball hit very hard. Encarnacion lays out but can't come out and make the play. And here's the numbers. Improved in batting average, runs per game. And the one that really jumps out at you is that runners in scoring position. They've hit 302. Prior to Showalter, 217.
The Orioles were 5 for 16 in last night's game with runners in scoring position, but still came up on the short end of the stick in a 6-4 series opening loss. They find themselves in that situation here with Jones at second and Fox at first for Nolan Reimold. Romero progressing and trying to build on those fine numbers of a year ago when he went 13-9 when that ERA was up over 4 at 4.30. Checks both runners, and with that distraction misses away. Reimold tied a career high with 3 hits yesterday. This time he chops it foul to the right side, and Romero remains ahead in the count.
Reimold with just 105 at bats on the season, but this is a guy that's a good looking young player. He's hitting 229 coming into the game today. But he's a good looking outfielder in left field defensively and has shown at times some potential to be a pretty good hitter.
The especially as a rookie in 2009 when he hit .279 with 15 home runs and 45 driven in. But things here in his sophomore season have not gone quite as smoothly, which is often the case. Two pitch. Encarnacion can handle it. Now flips it over to second, and that will allow only one out to be made as Hill is upended and now comes up limping. A hard slide there by Jake Fox. And so Reimold is aboard with runners at the corners and one down.
Well, oftentimes when you're thinking about breaking up a double play, this ball's hit should have been an easy double play. Encarnacion has a little trouble with the handle, but as the runner, you're anticipating the second baseman trying to complete it and turn it, so you still go in hard. That was a good clean slide, nothing dirty about it. But what put Aaron Hill in that position was the fact that Encarnacion didn't handle the ball cleanly.
It's Reimold on first, Jones at third, and a first pitch strike to Brandon Snyder.
Here's another look at the slide. At this point, he's already committed. So if Fox is in a position where if he tries to pull up, he could hurt himself.
Got him with the spikes in the back of the calf. But Hill no worse for the wear. Just add that to the list of things that have nagged him all season long.
And you just hope that the missed double play doesn't come back to hurt you in this inning. The way this ball club's been swinging the bat, you give a team that's swinging the bat, been pretty hot, an extra out.
And Snyder trying to take advantage of that over the head of another Snyder, and it one hops and leaves the ballpark. So a ground rule double for Brandon Snyder brings in the first run of the game as Jones scores. Reimold will be held up at third, and it's 1-0 Baltimore.
Good fastball, jumps all over it, and immediately there was no chance for Travis Snyder. The ball was just hit too hard for him to be able to get back. And right now in the early going, Romero having trouble with command in terms of the curveball and the changeup. There's a curveball for a strike, but he really hasn't been able to go to it, and it seems like every time these young Orioles get a fastball to hit, they've been very aggressive.
A little reminiscent of the start for Romero 2 starts ago against the Tampa Bay Rays. Hit back on the ground. I'll check the runner at third and deliver a strike to first base for the second out of the inning as Sturis is retired.
Well, Romero, a good athlete and feels his position very, very well. Of course, this was not a tough play, but he shows very good presence. The moment that ball hit his glove, the first thing he did was check that runner off of third base. When he realized he was holding his ground, he goes to first and gets the out. Now he has a chance to get out of this with just the one run.
And there's another one of those balls hit right back up the middle against Romero. It's a strange trend.
But he was able with his tourist to start him with a curveball for a strike. He followed that up with a changeup, really had him out off the end of the bat. Because it appears right now, every time he throws a fastball, this ball club's trying to jump it.
Back to the top of the order for Brian Roberts as
I think that's especially true when you get down to Jones, who's still a young player, Fox, Reimold, Snyder. You know, young hitters like the fastball.
Romero trying to limit the damage here, which is a characteristic we have seen out of this young starting staff this year. Something that has improved. Brett Cecil in particular, not completely rattled once they've given up a run. They've been able to turn the page, focus on the next hitter, and move forward. Romero trying to do that here with 2 down.
The only time this season where I've seen Romero and he appeared to be just a little bit excited or not quite in control of his emotions was the first start he made in Anaheim for the first time in front of a lot of friends and family. And he was, I think, a little too much adrenaline for that game. But other than that, he's had very good control of his emotions. You'd think first base open, you have a left-hander on deck, that you don't give in to Roberts, who's solid from either side of the plate. But with Markakis on deck hitting .348 coming into the game versus left-handed pitching, and he's already singled a center off Romero, so no bargain there.
And Roberts takes the walk. Here comes Julio Lugo with the bases loaded against Ricky Romero. That start you refer to, 5 1/3, in which Romero gave up 11 hits, 7 earned runs in LA, and taking the loss in that game by an 8-3 count.
And I correct myself, Markakis hit second last night. He's hitting third today. Way to follow the game, Mully. You're right on top of it.
So here's Julio Lugo with the bases loaded. Pitch misses high, and Molina, as he has been wont to do, will go out and pay a visit to his young pitcher. Just try and settle him down, put the hand on the shoulder and say, hey, let's go get him here. We're in this situation. Let's try and get out of it. I spoke to Romero yesterday, just really feeling so positive about how well his arm feels at this point in the year. It's a time that once the innings and the starts add up, pitchers can at times go through a dead arm period, but Romero not feeling any of that, just having a little trouble locating right now. Lugo has 3 career grand slams, 283 in this situation. And once again, missing up in the zone. Bruce Walton in his familiar seat beside Cito Gaston in that Blue Jays dugout. Those two have sat together all season long and trying to guide this staff through what has been a very successful season so far. And now Romero falls behind 3-0.
You could tell that there was some discussion there about Romero's delivery. He's not quite getting through the baseball, and he can't get over the top and finish his pitches right now.
Romero works, and it's a pitch low and away, but called a strike by Jim Reynolds, and Lugo will have to retreat back to the batter's box.
Well, he fooled me too, because I had already written down base on balls. This pitch is ball 4.
And oftentimes when a pitcher is missing early in the game, he won't be awarded that strike, but for Romero, a chance to take advantage of it here. The 3-1, though, not quite so lucky, and Romero walks in the second run of the game.
Well, most certainly Romero has not helped himself in this inning, but again, you go back to the ball that was hit by Nolan Reimold. If you turn the double play on that ball, okay, then Snyder doubles the ground ball back to the pitcher, Romero would have been out of this inning.
So with that walk, Bruce Walton will pay a visit to the mound, and it's all ears for Romero. Just such a positive way about him, Bruce Walton. But we have seen him get animated, not very often, but on that rare occasion. And when he does so, he delivers a very stern message. I don't know if it was quite the situation there. Nick Markakis steps in now with the bases loaded, and now that average has jumped to .352, lefty versus lefty.
3 hits off Brett Cecil last night, and he singled in his first at bat off Romero here this afternoon. Just does such a great side. He really keeps that front side closed. You know, he lands the right foot. He's a little bit closed off, and he just doesn't pull off the ball versus left-handed pitching, and it's one of the reasons why he's had so much success against them.
Romero with a first pitch strike to Markakis. This one fouled off, and he now has the good-looking young left-handed hitter in an 0-2 hole.
But if you watch that approach, you could see right there that last pitch, he is looking to take that ball back up the middle or the other way. No attempt to try to pull at all.
Just another 40 double season for Markakis. 0-2, and Molina can't hang on. Tipped by Markakis, and just throws Molina's timing off the touch and trying to corral it.
Well, he has 44 doubles on the season. That's the fourth consecutive season he's had 43 or more. That puts him in some pretty good company. Joe Medwick did it 4 times consecutive seasons, 43 or more, and Tris Speaker, both Hall of Famers. So quite an accomplishment for Markakis. 4 years in a row with 43 or more doubles.
Home run totals down, just 10 on the year for Markakis to this point. The 0-2 worked again, and they'll go well away. Trying to get Markakis to chase, but he is seeing the ball extremely well off lefties. The bases remain loaded. Snyder, Roberts, and Lugo aboard. 1-2 count with 2 out here in the top of the second inning. The Jays trailing 2-0. And again, the pitch is down.
Well, that pitch count starting to run up there very quickly. Here he's not even out of the second inning yet, and he's thrown 47 pitches this afternoon.
Markakis will keep the at-bat alive and continue to run that pitch total up.
But that last pitch is one that would have finished off a lot of left-handed hitters. It was a breaking ball that was in a pretty good spot, but Markakis was all over it. He almost gives you the sense that against left-handed pitching, for the most part, he stays on that outer third. That's where he's looking location-wise, and just trying to stay on the ball.
We'll try it again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and fouled just above the fist.
Now this is a breaking ball that just flattens out, and probably a good thing. If this has a little more bite to it and runs out over the plate a little bit, kind of backed up and flattened out on Markakis a little bit, tied him up.
Well, they'll try it again. Breaking ball misses, and now the count's gone full. Romero in jeopardy here of walking in his second straight run.
Well, almost a situation here where if you're Ricky Romero, you have to challenge him. And the way Markakis has been swinging the bat, I hope he hits it out somewhere.
Runners on the move. The pitch is low, and the second consecutive run walked in by Romero. Brandon Snyder comes across to score, and Baltimore now leads at 3-0.
Well, you take a look, last 31 2/3 innings of work, Ricky Romero has walked 22, and that may be a sign of fatigue. You maybe say the arm may feel good, or at least in his mind it does, but those are not Ricky Romero numbers. His command overall for the season has been much better than that.
More of a strikeout guy than a walk guy, surely, but that's not been the case here this afternoon. Cleanup spot for Ty Wigginton. Wigginton has been about as valuable as any player Baltimore has had this year, playing both corner infield spots, DHing on occasion, and putting up good numbers. Bases still remain loaded. Consecutive bases loaded walks by Romero has the Orioles on top 3-0. And again, missing up in the zone. Long man Robert Ray starts to get loose in that Jays bullpen.
Well, Romero he's really struggling with his delivery and his release point here this afternoon.
Pitch to Wigginton low and in.
He just can't repeat it. He threw one good changeup to him that he swung and missed at. That made the count 1-2. Then he tried to come back with it again, missed way up and away to go 2-2. Now a breaking ball that's not close, 3-2. And again, it's challenge time.
Runners moving, and Wigginton is called out on strikes. So Ricky Merrill gives up 3 runs, 2 of them he walked in himself. The Jays trail by 3. HD Quatron TV and Blu-ray player. Enter online at Hit a Home Run with Sharp.ca. Sharp Aquos with Quatron technology. You have to see it to see it. Bruce Walton moves down to the middle of the bench in between innings to have a few words with his starter, Ricky Romero. Blue Jays trail 3-0 here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. And it's Vernon Wells leading it off. Over 300 in his last 18 games. Fouled off to the left side where Brian Butterfield makes a nice pick.
That's your pass list?
It sure is. Hi. 2-2 pitch to Wells. Took me a long time to color that sign in this morning.
Yeah. Leave him a free ticket. He'll do anything for you.
It'll cost me dinner later. Wells waits on it to the sure-handed Asturis across the diamond. 1 down.
Jeremy Guthrie, pretty good arm. Fastball at 89 to 94 with some good life to it. Has an outstanding curveball. A slider with some good late break and tilt to it, and a fair change. And he is an outstanding competitor. He's demonstrated that. You talked about Sam over the innings that he's pitched over the last 3 seasons. He's a gamer. He takes the ball and goes to the post.
Guthrie likes to work quickly, gets ahead of Lyle Overbay. Overbay's reached in each of his last 9 games. Tried to quick pitch him there. Guthrie is an interesting story. 1-1 pitch. He started out at Brigham Young University in 97 and 98 after being drafted by the Mets. Didn't sign. And then went on a 2-year Mormon mission. As Overbay lifts this ball to left field, Reimold back on the track and makes the catch.
Yeah, there was a 2-year mission to Spain. He had to learn how to speak Spanish. It's kind of interesting. One of his comments said, he said, I found the Spaniards to be very straightforward. He said, if you got past hello, you had a chance.
Working on his mission, and 2 years there, now speaks fluently. That's always an asset in baseball. As Aaron Hill goes after the first pitch. Came back from the mission and attended Stanford University. Pitching extremely well there. Went 26-6 over 2 years with a 2.65 ERA at Stanford. And because of those religious beliefs, was able to work it out with Stanford that he didn't pitch on Sundays. Was drafted again in the first round by Cleveland in 2002 and signed a $4 million deal, with 3 of that being bonus money and $1 million spread out over the life of the contract. And here he is now, fresh off a waiver claim a couple of years ago from Cleveland, and he has given Baltimore everything expected from someone in that situation, surely. 2-2 to Hill. This one is hit hard. Left field, back, and gone. Home run, Aaron Hill. Number 25 on the season. It's a solo shot and a sign of life for the Blue Jays.
Well, Aaron Hill, a good fastball hitter, and Guthrie wanted this pitch away, and he missed in. And there was no doubt when Hill hit this one. Just a question if it was going to stay fair.
25th of the year for the Hill, and the Blue Jays are on the board. Hill has talked all season long about how it's been a struggle, but the numbers are pretty good. And a looper into left center for Adam Lynn to keep the inning alive here with 2 down.
Well, with the 25 home runs, that's pretty significant.
Aaron Hill chips in. It's been a great promotion, I'll tell you. Sharps got their money's worth out of this one. Blue Jays on record pace here for home runs. Edwin Encarnacion, since coming off the DL, has struggled, just 4 for 30. Short lead for Lynn. Breaking ball misses from Guthrie. Off the top of the broadcast, we told you that that's one of the things Guthrie has been susceptible to, and that's the long ball. This one chopped into the ground, and the play for Wigginton on the backhand throw in time. A good strong throw there, but not before Aaron Hill does a little damage of his own. 25th home run of the year to get the Jays on the board. Through 2, Toronto trails by 2. Cosentino, and Eric Thames joins us from AA New Hampshire. It's the Webster Awards being given out annually to the top minor league players, and of course you're one of the winners. First of all, congratulations, a fantastic year at AA. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I know here at the big league level we've heard a lot about you, but tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm from San Jose, California. Drafted, in the 7th round out of Pepperdine in 08. And, it's my first time to Canada. I love it. I came here, I saw the tower over here. The stadium's beautiful. Had a bowl of poutine first time, and I was like, okay, I love this place, even though I probably shouldn't be eating that, my diet. But I love it here. I'm born and raised in California, so haven't seen too much of the world, but I love this ball club.
1-2 count to Jones, leading it off for Baltimore here in the top of the third.
Well, tell us a little bit about your strengths and weaknesses as a player. Maybe some things that have been a real positive, some things you need to work on.
Well, I'm known for more of my work ethic in my offense than defense or speed or arm, and I know that. But I would say my strongest tool as a ball player is how I learn and make adjustments fast and just work to get better. I know I don't have the best arm in the world or the best legs anymore, but as long as I just compete, I know I can help any team win.
We've heard so much about Louis Rivera, the manager at AA New Hampshire this year, and you talk about being a quick learner and the ability to learn. What is it that Rivera was able to teach you throughout the course of this year?
Well, Louis just brought that whole big league experience to the ball club. He wasn't stressing out over little things. Coming from a college, a lot of coaches, stress out if you just do one thing wrong, and it's like, oh, that stuff. But at the pro ball level, it's good to have a coach that is relaxed and keeps the whole ball club relaxed. There's nothing worse than you're in a losing stretch and everybody's freaking out and just all tense. So he kept it really loose.
We've heard so many good things about that team in general as Jones grounds out to second. Kyle Drabeck, Danny Hechavarria. What are your thoughts on Kyle Drabeck now that he's here with the big club?
I feel sorry for the guys that have to face him. I faced him in spring training, and he gave me the backdoor slider quite a few times, and that thing was just filthy. He deserves it. Works hard. Good teammate. Great teammate, I should say. And I'm proud of him and happy for what he's doing here.
Fox into shallow left field for the second out of the inning. And how about the shortstop, Hechavarria?
Hetchy, a young, talented ball player. He has one of the best arms I've seen from any infielder. There's a reason why they signed him and gave him how much money they gave him. He's a great raw player. He's absolutely just an acrobat at shortstop. And they're talking about just how raw he actually is. And he came up with us and did pretty well. Made a lot of plays, got key hits for us, and the future is bright for him.
So you go back home this offseason. What do you work on to get you to the next level, or maybe even a spot here on the 25-man roster next year?
Yoga. Lots of yoga. I've been injured the past few years, and yoga was the one thing that really just kept me playing this year. I have the body type where if I even touch a weight, I'll put on 10, 15 pounds and just be tight and just get hurt. So yoga, kept me loose, kept everything just flowing nice and easy. So this year I'm probably going to do a little bit more of that and hopefully play 140 games next year. 162, actually. I'm sorry.
Wouldn't that be nice? That's, of course, the Major League schedule, 162 games. Eric Thames, a Webster Award winner, joining us here in the broadcast booth. A 1-2 count to Nolan Reimold, and he continues to foul off pitches to keep the at-bat alive, but to this point, a pretty good bounce-back inning for Ricky Romero. So you get the opportunity to come up here to Toronto, meet some of the other players in the organization. Did you get a chance to walk through that Blue Jay clubhouse at all?
Yes, I did.
What did you think of that?
Let's say that added a little bit of fuel to the fire to get here. Just seeing the clubhouse and the kitchen back there and just all the little goodies that you don't see in the minor leagues. It makes you want to be here just a little bit more.
Hey, the charter plane's not too bad either. It beats those buses in the minor leagues.
Man, 15-hour trips and
foul back again. When you look at this Blue Jays roster, what sticks out to you? Has there been a mentor that maybe someone you met or saw in spring training at this roster? Is there anyone that sticks out in your mind?
Chad Mottola. He's a hitting coach in Vegas, and he was in the GCL when I was drafted in 08, and he just kept things real loose. I mean, it's a big adjustment coming from college or high school ball to pro ball, and so yeah, he just said, just relax, play hard, just swing, don't think about anything.
Eric, thanks so much for your time. Congratulations on being a Webster Award winner. We look forward to seeing you here in the new Fritz.
Thank you very much.
Eric Thames of AA New Hampshire, a Webster Award winner. We're back with more after this. .105 home runs. That's second most in the American League. And that includes Aaron Hill's 25th hit in the bottom of the second inning.
Well, anytime you pound the strike zone and you're aggressive, such as the case with Jeremy Guthrie, you're going to give up some home runs.
Jose Molina here for the Jays in the bottom of the third inning.
It's not that solo shot that hurts so much. It's that one after you've walked a hitter or two and then you make a mistake.
James Shields leads the way in home runs given up in the American League the last 4 years. The Blue Jays, in a game earlier this year, had 6 against them. 2-1, and Molina misses away. And how about Aaron Hill's ball? It had eyes, didn't it?
It sure did. Right into the old popcorn, and now everybody starts grabbing for it, and this poor guy has no chance at this point.
And who comes out of it? It's the lady who's holding a beer, grabbing a snack, and now with a souvenir baseball. Fantastic. Molina called out on strikes, and he'll have words with Reynolds. Always a precarious situation to be in when you're worried about getting strikes for your pitcher as well. And
well, there have been a number of hitters question some calls that have been out here on this outside corner, but based upon replay, that looked like a pretty good pitch.
And that is a pitch that has been consistently called. Surely Molina saying, hey, make sure you're giving those to our guy as well when we get back out there. Top of the order for Travis Snider. He struck out looking to lead off in the bottom of the first inning. Snider's playing time has really increased here in the month of September, and will continue to add up the at-bats, with Fred Lewis having left the team to undergo bunion surgery. Just trying to get Snider back into that comfort spot which he was in before he got hurt. And it was at that point, Rance, where everyone thought that this guy had really turned the corner and started to be the guy that people thought he would be.
It really did come at a bad time for him, because he was really starting to swing the bat.
Swings it pretty well here. Right field, back and gone. Home run, Travis Snider. On cue, thank you very much. And Guthrie has given up another home run. Snyder's 11th cuts the lead to 1.
Well, there's no doubt he's a young man with tremendous power. And you get a look at it here, a curveball that kind of hangs and stays inside to Travis Snyder, and he places it in the second deck in right field.
Escobar first pitch swinging to Roberts. And there it is, another look at the Snyder home run.
But he was really starting to swing the bat, and then on a check swing he injured that wrist. And it was a pretty significant injury to a ligament, and it took quite some time. As a matter of fact, he actually just had to shut everything down for about 2 months and let it completely heal.
Quick look at Escobar, who went after the first pitch. Pounded it hard to the second baseman, Roberts. 2 down here for Jose Bautista. He was called out on strikes on one of those pitches in the outside corner. And this one aimed perfectly at Roberts. So the Blue Jays go quickly, but in the midst get a home run from Travis Snyder, his 11th of the year. And now the Blue Jays trail by 1. The second of the game hit by the Blue Jays, give them 138 home runs hit here at home. That's a new club record. It was established yesterday when Bautista hit 2 and Wells hit 1. Hill and Snyder have gone deep here today. 138 home runs hit here at the Rogers Center for the Blue Jays. Brandon Snyder on the ground to Escobar. 2 pitches, 1 out here for the Blue Jays in the top of the 4th.
Yes, and Romero with his pitch counts at the point in the game where he needs to have a couple of innings that are very quick, where he's very efficient, doesn't have to throw a lot of pitches to get through an inning. He's off to a good start here in the top of the 4th. He's now thrown 75 on the day.
I just find it amazing at times, Rance, how you can go out and have an inning in which he had, in which he watched a couple of hitters, and then go down, sit down, kind of recapture whatever it was that was missing. Comes out as a 1-2-3 inning in the 3rd and is pumping strikes here in the 4th.
Well, the good ones can do that, and that's part of the maturing process. Is you have to be able to figure out things on the fly at times. I mean, you're not going to always go out there and everything falls right into place for you. Sometimes you're going to scuffle like Ricky Romero has here this afternoon, especially in that second inning. And if you're going to be a real professional and be the type of guy who year in, year out is 14, 15, 16 game winner, you got to be able to make adjustments at times out there from inning to inning or pitch to pitch.
So Romero seemingly having rediscovered what ailed him earlier in the game.
Although he did walk Roberts, Lugo, and Markakis. 3 consecutive walks in that second inning. He was hurt by the failure to turn the double play on the routine ground ball to Encarnacion.
All part and parcel of trying to put adversity behind you. And Molina with a slow walk to the mound, saying, that's the pitch that I was struck out on.
Well, Romero is now past 200 innings on the season. 200 and a third to be exact. Markham with 181 and a third, followed by Brett Cecil.
3-2 pitch hit off the foot of Izturis.
Of course, Brandon Morrow was shut down quite some time ago. They wanted to make sure that they protect him a little bit. The first time that he's really been healthy, or at least pitched a lot of innings and made a lot of consecutive starts. Here's a look at it. Looked like right off the top of his foot.
Ouch. Well, they'll try the 3-2 again. And once again, Izturis fouls it off. Romero working much quicker now. And again, Izturis able to spoil it.
But this has definitely been the type of game that a younger Ricky Romero would have not probably at this point been around. But he's learned how to figure some things out and control the emotions.
As he gets Izturis swinging. Let me ask you this, Rance. When you look at this offense and its ability to come back in short order, how much confidence does that give you as a pitcher, where even in this situation where Romero's at 85 pitches here now in the fourth, that if he gets to 5, that he's going to have an opportunity to win the game?
Well, he knows if he can hang around and get through 5, maybe even through 6 innings here this afternoon.
First pitch to Roberts, and that's lined into left field. Base hit.
Pitch a couple more shutout innings. You know, his chances at this point right now, at worst, are probably 50-50 because of this Jays offense, and he knows that. Just hang around, battle, don't throw in the towel, and have a chance for something very positive to happen here this afternoon.
With 2 outs, Roberts is aboard for the 3rd time in the game, giving way to Julio Lugo. And Molina has it foul tipped right into him, and he needs a bit of a break. Well, the last couple of games for Molina have not been fun.
Well, he's a big target. He's just a big man, period, and that one got him right around the rib cage there. That really hurt. Well, it's amazing the beating that catchers take day in, day out, and how they're able to still put the gear on and go back there.
Little help there from Reynolds as he went out to give Ricky Romero a new ball and just give Molina a little time to recoup.
But you're right. If there's one thing that's noticeable about Romero now as opposed to earlier in the ball game, he is working at a quicker pace, which seems to suit him well. When he starts standing around and becomes what appears to be a little bit indecisive at times, or maybe thinking a little too much, doesn't seem to be as effective.
A couple of quick checks of Roberts over there at first base. Lugo out in front.
Well, in the last 2 seasons, you go back to 08, Roberts stole 40, was caught 10 times. Last year he stole 30 bases, caught just 7, and this year he's stolen 11 and has been caught just twice. So very savvy base runner off of first base. Usually when he goes, he's successful.
He's got the itch here. He's on the way. 0-2. Molina with the throw down. In the dirt it goes. Did he overslide? No, he did not. And safe at second with a stolen base is Roberts.
Well, it looked like that back foot, the left foot, came off the bag momentarily. Here we'll get a look at it. Oh, I see. Now I know why. Escobar grabbed his leg and pulled it off the bag. Watch this.
That's a good way to try and get him out. Right back up the middle on a broken bat. Good concentration by Romero. So he gives up a hit and a stolen base to Roberts, but is able to get out of the inning with the Blue Jays trailing by just one. Plus Blu-ray player. Watron, it's 4 colors, not 3. To enter, visit hitahomerunwithsharp.ca. That's hitahomerunwithsharp.ca. Beautiful blue sky here. Looking up into the CN Tower. Bottom of the 4th inning, Blue Jays trailing the Orioles 3-2. Baltimore got all 3 of its runs in the 2nd inning, including 2 bases loaded walks issued by Romero. An RBI double by Brandon Snyder capped the scoring in that inning. Blue Jays have responded with a couple of solo shots. Aaron Hill with his 25th in the bottom of the 2nd inning, and Travis Snyder with his 11th in the bottom of the 3rd. Wells pops it up to the left side. Wingington's going to give it a look, and it will stay right in that foul territory, rather, for the first out of the inning.
First baseman, number 35,
Blue Jays will wrap up the series against Baltimore tomorrow afternoon, and then a 3-game set against the Yankees beginning Monday night. Overbay steps in, offers it the first pitch. Picked there by Snyder, and he'll take it himself.
The Jays on Rogers Sportsnet. Brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Two down for Aaron Hill, who was already homered here this afternoon. Took a 2-2 Guthrie pitch out of the yard in the 2nd, giving him 25 in the season. And so, yes, you look at the average of 209, but you look at the 25 home runs and 64 driven in, and you say, production numbers, decent year.
Well, especially when you factor in how much he has struggled this year. The batting average at 209, which means he's missed a lot of opportunities to drive in a run with just a base hit.
Has Hill done it again? This one is hit into left field. Right back at the track, and Reimold against the wall makes the catch. So Hill making a bid for home run number 2 in this game. Reimold takes it away. Quick inning for Guthrie. 59 starts. Ricky Romero in some pretty select company in the Blue Jays franchise history.
Well, Pat Henkin the best with 32 wins over his first 59, followed by Juan Guzman. Boy, he had some kind of an arm. He could really throw. David Wells and Kelvin Escobar.
Romero making a bid for number 14 of the season. That would surpass the mark he set last year when he went 13-9.
First time we ever saw Juan Guzman was in spring training down in Dunedin, down over at the minor league complex, and he was throwing batting practice. It was his day to throw off the mound and throw BP just to get his work in, and I happened to be in the group that drew Juan Guzman. I got in the cage, went through one round, stepped out, and told Cito, somebody else can have the rest of my swings. I'm not looking at this. He literally almost threw one completely out of the cage. He was quite wild when he was young. And I said, no, let somebody else deal with this. But once he figured it out, he had some very good years for the Jays.
An interesting character as well. Always friendly, always had a smile on his face. Threw well. Good story about Guzman after his first start here at the Rogers Center as Markakis hits it on the ground. 2 hops to Aaron Hill. First out of the inning. After his first start here at the Rogers Center, came out of the game after I think it was 4 or 5 innings. Had a shower, got dressed, walked out of the ballpark, back up into the hotel to watch the rest of the game. He didn't realize that he was kind of required to stick around. So a short time thereafter, a little meeting with Cito Gaston to say, hey, Juan, you got to kind of stick this thing out on even on days that you start and get pulled out of the game early. You still have to stick around. Wigginton 0 for 2 on the afternoon. Made his first ever All-Star appearance this year, a lone representative for the O's, and a deserved one at that. Romero with the 1-1, and that misses in. Romero at 98 pitches now. He averages 100 pitches per start. So he is near the end of the line and surely hoping here to get out of this 5th inning. Hope his offense can pick him up and give him a chance to win this game. Two to Wigginton, chopped foul. Century mark for Romero.
That big inning in the second, he threw 42 pitches.
Bounces this one in the dirt and moves the count full against Wigginton. With Romero near his pitch limit, it's Brian Tallett who gets loose in that Jays pen. A foul back by Wigginton. Cito Gaston has stated over and over again that it is a clear goal that he wants this team to finish over 500. And really, until they have established that, you're going to see a lot of veterans playing. That's why we haven't seen much of JP Arancibia. The bullpen has been shortened down to those who have been here most of the year. And it's going to be hard, Rance, for me to see that philosophy change. Pitch down to Wigginton, who draws the walk. You have the Yankees coming in a battle for the American League East. 3 games. And then the Blue Jays will travel to Minnesota. Now, Minnesota has already wrapped up the American League Central, but the best record in the American League is a huge, huge factor moving into the postseason. So they're not going to relent. And surely in keeping with the integrity of competition, Cito Gaston will want to throw out his best lineups against those 2 teams moving forward. First pitch swing by Adam Jones. This into the gap. Jose Bautista with a diving catch. And he will have an easy double play. Overbay touches the bag, and Bautista doesn't just do it with the bat, he does it with the glove too. Ricky Romero, the benefactor, not by the bat this time, but by the glove of Jose Bautista.
Play by Bautista. When the ball was hit, it didn't look like he had a chance, but he had a great jump, timed the layout perfectly. Wigginton just knew for sure, as everybody else in the ballpark felt like that was going to be extra bases. And then the awareness to get up, and of course with that great arm, make the throw back into Overbay for the double play.
12th assist of the year for Jose Bautista, second in the major leagues. Adam Lynn leads it off for the Jays in the bottom of the 5th inning. Skies it to center field for Adam Jones.
Third baseman, number 12, Eric
Cito Gaston comes over to have words with Ricky Romero. Up over that 100-pitch mark. Gives him the handshake, and his afternoon is over.
Well, you have to appreciate the job that he did here this afternoon. He was really, for the most part,
hit on the ground by Encarnacion. Esturris, good strong throw. Two down.
He was not sharp this afternoon, but he most certainly kept the ball club in the game. He leaves down 3-2. But the Jays still with a very good chance to win the game. So a good job of competing this afternoon by Romero.
Shortly after Cito Gaston paid his visit between innings, Bruce Walton comes over and says, hey, here's how it went down this afternoon. This is what I saw. Let's try and work on it for your next start. Jose Molina struck out in the 3rd. He got caught looking. Argued with home plate umpire Jim Reynolds to no avail. Out in front of that Guthrie pitch. And is behind 0-2. Interesting yesterday, Rance. I watched Guthrie right after all the batting practice paraphernalia was taken away, and he went out on the mound before the grounds crew had a chance to work on it and made 5 or so phantom pitches and walked off the mound. And I thought it was really interesting. I'd never seen a pitcher do that before, so I asked him about it yesterday, and he said, every ballpark I go to, I will do that the day before my start. Just kind of get a feel for the mound, a little visualization. Giving up just 3 hits here this afternoon through 4 2/3. And completes the inning by striking out Molina. for Guthrie, his 4th strikeout of the afternoon. He's ahead by 1. Walked 5, which is the 3rd time he's done that to tie a season high. Giving up 5 hits. He leads trailing 3-2 and gives way to Brian Talent. Talent comes in out of the pen, and this pitching change is brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Brian Talent will be working his 32nd game this season. 6.32 ERA. It's been a tough year for Brian Talent. And he'll be asked to come in here, probably try to get the ball club through the 7th inning if he can. He'll pitch the 6th and the 7th. See, 74 innings, 49 strikeouts. And for Brian Talent, of his 26 relief appearances, in 14 of those he has pitched 2 or more innings.
First pitch swing for Jake Fox. This one goes into the left field corner. Travis Snyder picks it up. And we'll have no chance to get Fox with a leadoff double here in the 6th.
Left field, number 14, Nolan Reinhold.
Line drive right down into the corner. And Fox wasting no time. He jumped the first pitch that he sees. Talent. Hey, these young hitters, they get a fastball. They're not wasting any time.
Second hit of the afternoon for Jake Fox. Nolan Reinhold is 0 for 2 in the game. He has scored a run. And we'll try and pick up that runner at second base. First pitch strike from Talent.
Well, it'd be interesting to see how the Orioles play this situation. If Reinhold takes a shot to try to drive in a runner, tries to take the ball the other way. In the event that he doesn't get a base hit, he moves that runner along to third base. That's a big run to pick up. And the Orioles with an opportunity here, if you execute, to pick up a run without the benefit of another base hit.
Tied a career high with 3 hits yesterday, did Reinhold, after going 0 for 2 in his first 2 at bats. Good strong rebound, and will not back down to Talent continuously coming inside on him.
Well, Talent and Molina probably sense that's the case, so they're trying to keep the ball in on his hands. All 3 have been fastballs in.
Sun starting to shine here in the field at the Rogers Center. Talent misses down and falls behind 3-1. The Orioles have undergone a resurgence since the hiring of manager Buck Showalter. 29-19 under his watch coming into play today. And Talent issues the walk. Runners at first and second with nobody out. Talbot has pitched in just about every situation since joining the Blue Jays. Situational guy, a long guy out of the pen, a spot starter. Blue Jays have greatly appreciated his work. First pitch swing by Snyder to the right side. Bautista charging hard. And that's the first out of the unit. Jose Bautista, 2 home runs yesterday. 52 on the year. A great diving catch to start a 9-3 double play to get Ricky Romero out of the 5th. 9-hole hitter Cesar Asturias. Asturias hitting just .235 this year. But he's been able to remain healthy and stay in the lineup and play a very solid shortstop for the O's all season long. It's Fox at second. Reimold is at first. Cesar Asturias the hitter. Pitch misses away from Talbot. You find that at this juncture in the game it's so critical. The Blue Jays trail by 1. They've battled back from a 3-0 deficit. They've seemingly gained a little momentum. And it's not something you want to give back to Baltimore here.
Hey, you mentioned the defensive play of Asturias. And Buck Showalter was commenting the first day that the Orioles were in town that really that's all he wants from Asturias is just make all the plays and be outstanding defensively at shortstop. Anything that he does offensively is a plus, because his comment was, if you're going to play in the middle of the field, if you're going to be a center fielder, a shortstop, or a second baseman, you have to be outstanding defensively unless you're a guy that hits 25 or 30 home runs and drives in 100. It is a significant offensive player.
Foul tipped, and continued on with that comment by saying it is absolutely imperative, especially in the American League. Now, Showalter is managed in both leagues, but because of the hitting prowess in the American League, it is.
Well, because you have the DH. You don't have the pitcher hitting. And typically more depth in an American League lineup than in the National League.
2-2 back inside. They go to Asturias, and the count runs full. Showalter has managed the Yankees, Arizona, Texas.
Well, if you're a shortstop that's not a run producer, you can't make 25 errors.
3-2 to Asturias. This is up and away, and the bases are loaded once again. A couple of bases loaded walks, or what pretty much ended the afternoon for Ricky Romero. 42 pitch second inning in which he walked 2 O's batters. Back to the top of the order for the ever dangerous Brian Roberts. Up and away. Ball 1. Roberts has reached on all 3 occasions here this afternoon. He walked in the first and second. Base hit to left field before stealing a base in the 4th.
You know, Roberts, a lot of confidence in his ability. He's not afraid to take a pitch, even though he's 1-0 and knows he's probably in a good fastball count. Feels like, you know, Talbot's struggling a little bit. Let's stay patient right here and not let him get out of this inning with just 1 strike hitting into a double play.
He's been really good in this situation throughout his career, hitting .348 with the bases loaded, but he's down in a 1-2 hole here.
You know, that's just an example of a veteran player realizing the situation and is not going to let the pitcher get off the hook with just that 1 pitch. Now that strike one, he has to go to business. It's 1-2. Now he has to battle.
Which misses down. Blue Jays have issued 7 walks in this game. 5 of those by Ricky Romero. And for Romero, he's now issued 23 walks over his last 6 starts. Very un-Romero-like numbers. He gave way to Talent, and Talent trying to get out of a bases loaded jam, popped up towards the left side of the infield. Edwin Encarnacion comes in and makes the catch. Two down for Julio Lugo, who faced a bases loaded situation back in that 2nd inning.
Well, it'd be interesting to see if Talent remains in this ball game. There has been action in the Jays bullpen. Jansen has been up and throwing and appears to be ready. And of course, the right-handed hitters have hit .313 on the season against Talent. But it looks like he's going to stay in this ball game and face Lugo.
Lugo somewhat out of practice based on missing some time with that head injury. 0 for 2 on the afternoon. There's one time rumored that Lugo was to sign with the Blue Jays. Coming off a great season with Tampa Bay. Ended up signing a 4-year deal with Boston. Things didn't pan out there. And he was picked up by Baltimore. Here he is with a situation to do some damage. 2 for 5 lifetime against Talent.
It's going to be tight, but hopefully they're in.
Foul back. Blue Jays were very familiar with the work of Lugo. Watching him so many times, man, that shortstop and second base position with Tampa. 1-2 from Talent. Catches Lugo looking. So Brian Talent able to get out of a bases loaded jam unscathed. The Blue Jays trail 3-2. Thanks to Talent. At 11 o'clock this morning, he was out getting loose, and then a bullpen session in front of Rick Lankford, Bruce Walton, Dane Johnson, Blue Jays minor league roving pitching coordinator, was there. Andrew Tinish and Ryan Middleman of the Jays scouting department also keeping a close eye. McGuire was the 11th overall pick here in the 2010 draft out of Georgia Tech. And one of those big-bodied right-handers that the Blue Jays feel very strongly about. Projections pre-draft had him as a number 3 big league guy at some point, but someone who's got 3 good pitches. Fastball, slider, change. Pitched in the regional for Georgia Tech. Ended up in his last start beating Alabama before Georgia Tech bowed out in consecutive games to that very same Alabama team, failing to make it to the College World Series.
Well, you talk about the importance of pitching and how important it is to have depth.
Travis Snyder, after a home run in the 3rd, comes up here in the 6th and deposits this ball into center field.
And again, off the curveball. He hit the curveball out of the ballpark, and here is the 2-2 count, gets a curveball and singles to center. Of course, Guthrie not getting those pitches where he wanted to, leaving them up. But nonetheless, Snyder taking advantage of the breaking ball here this afternoon. But pitching depth, and based upon the way that the Jays drafted this year, it's so important. One of the things that the Jays have been fortunate with this year, for the most part, that starting rotation stayed healthy. And if you go back to 08, when the Rays went to the World Series, their rotation stayed healthy, the entire rotation, the entire year. And you have to have depth so that when you do have some problems physically.
Slider on the move. Escobar fouls it off.
You have depth. You can replace that person that maybe goes on the disabled list for 4 to 6 weeks. And the Jays, most certainly, based upon the draft, they're trying to create a lot of depth in terms of pitching and build from there.
Chad Jenkins was their first rounder from the 2009 draft. Aaron Sanchez in that mix here in 2010 as well. So the Blue Jays really focusing on pitching in the draft.
And the key with the Holiday trade was Draven.
Yeah, another pitcher.
Another guy with an outstanding arm, and what the Jays and many in baseball feel has a very bright future here at the major league level.
The 3 works. Escobar, a mighty hack, fouls it off. You know, when you talk about Andy McPhail, who's the general manager here with Baltimore, it's a very similar type process. Let's grow the arms and buy the bats is the philosophy that he uses. And when you grow the arms, they're more known commodities, as opposed to getting someone who might be a free agent who you just don't know their medical history, you don't know their intestinal fortitude. But if you're able to grow those guys, you're very much well aware of what they can do. And bats are a little bit easier to find, and then is a good starting pitcher.
Well, if you don't have depth in terms of pitching, you can run a team out there that is a championship team in terms of your position players, but if you have a couple of key pitchers break down and you don't have the depth to replace them, you can't get to where you want to go. You can't get to the postseason.
Texas Rangers the last 4 or 5 years until this year when the pitching started to come to the fore. Escobar's done a good job fouling off pitches. Guthrie here in the 6th inning at 75 pitches. Oh, it might have hit him. And indeed it did clip Escobar. He looks down at that right wrist. You could hear him yell as the pitch came in from Guthrie. For Guthrie, his 15th hit batsman of the season.
Really very aggressive, trying to stay inside, hard on the hands, and the ball gets away from him a little bit. And here comes that man again.
Jose Bautista. Jake Fox goes out to have a word with Guthrie, and it's Bautista with his 52 home runs at the plate with 2 on and nobody out.
You know, and of those 52 home runs, he's hit 20 of them when the Jays were ahead. But he's been big time when they've really needed it the most. He's hit 20 when they've been behind in a ball game, and he's hit 12 of those home runs when the game was tied. So it hasn't been a situation where he cripple shoots when the game doesn't mean a whole lot. He's been very, very good when it means the most. Tough, tight, close ball games.
Guthrie works, and Bautista with that great eye. As the count go to 2-0.
It really is amazing. He has 143 hits on the season, 89 of them for extra bases.
I was looking for an extra base or two there.
Well, it's very seldom you see him take a swing where it looked like he's trying to bounce a ball through the right side. I'll say that, that's for sure. He didn't hold anything back with that last swing.
A rare check swing from Bautista, but a called strike anyhow to even the count at 2-2.
Well, if there's one thing about Guthrie that you have to respect is he's a lot of confidence, and he always stays aggressive with the fastball. Well, it took a good eye and a patient hitter to lay off that one, that last pitch.
Bautista saying he's really seeing the ball right now so well. He can pick up grips. He can pick up the seam. Sometimes the writing on the baseball. When you're in that kind of zone like he's in, it's got to be a lot of fun. He turned on this one. That might have left him. He pulled that ball.
Yeah, he pulled it between the plate and third base, well up into the third deck over. He didn't have no trouble turning on that fastball in, did he?
Never seen that before. But here it's Guthrie who strikes him out.
And for the second time this afternoon. Well, nobody does it all the time, and just a fastball that ran back in on the hands and tied him up just a little bit.
You know, Rance, what's got lost in all of this talk about Jose Bautista, Vernon Wells hits his 30th last night. Only 3 other Blue Jays players have had 3 seasons of 30-plus home runs. And on the ground, goes off the glove of the third baseman Wigginton, and everyone is safe.
Well, I'm sure to go as a base hit, Wigginton having to go to his right towards the line was able to knock it down and save a run. Ball looked like it hit kind of off the heel of his glove. But for the time being, it saves the run.
So it's called the base hit. Hey, fans, the bases are loaded. We're only one swing away from awarding a 60 in Sharp Aquos Quadron TV. Quadron for colors never before seen on TV. To enter, visit hitahomerun.sharp.ca. And they're loaded for Lyle Overbay. Vernon Wells given a hit on the play. Bases loaded for Overbay.
Hey, you mentioned 30 home runs for Wells. 3 times he's done it in his career. But he's tied for 4th in the American League with 74 extra base hits. So the power numbers for Wells have been very good also. It just seems like you look at those 52 home runs and everything else seems so mediocre, doesn't it?
Pales in comparison, but it's been an unbelievable ride for Vernon Wells. And I think the number one thing for me when it comes to Wells is the fact that he's been healthy the whole year. And these are the type of numbers that this guy can put up if he can stay healthy for an entire season. And I think even by Wells standards, at times he would tell you that he's gone through some droughts, if you will, as he starts to age a little bit. And if you ask him, I think he'll be happy with the numbers, but would still say that he could do better than even what he has done this year.
Well, you'd have to say the 30 home runs he's pleased with, the extra base total, yes. You know, the average, you know, he'd probably be okay with it, but, you know, that RBI total is not where he would like for it to be.
Foul back by Overbay. Snyder is at third, Escobar at second, and Wells in first for Overbay, who goes up to chase that pitch from Guthrie. Guthrie comes to the set, 2-2. Just missed that one. Guthrie showing no signs of panic whatsoever, continues to hang on to this 3-2 lead. 2-2. Hit into the air. Center fielder Adam Jones is over to get it. Snyder tagging up, and Jones will concede the run as Overbay gets the job done. A sac fly RBI to tie it at 3.
Nice job by Lyle Overbay to battle, hang in, and finally get the sacrifice fly, a ball deep enough to center to score Snyder.
So with 2 down, it rests on the shoulders of Aaron Hill. Snyder and Overbay connecting for the Jays' 3rd run. Guthrie up to 91 pitches. Hill has already taken him out of the yard. That in the 2nd inning, a solo shot, his 25th of the year.
Here's a look at that home run in the 2nd inning. The fastball in, and he drove it into the 2nd deck in left field. Boy, that last pitch was a curveball. It hung just a little bit. He had a good swing at it, but fouled it off.
Guthrie set once again. Big cut there for Hill. And the inning is over, but the Blue Jays do get the game's tying run. Overbay brings in Snyder, and we're knotted at 3 through 6. Courtesy of TD Canada Trust. What a great spot to watch the ball game from. Popcorn, something to drink, maybe a hot dog or two. And a great place down that right field line to check out the ball game. Top of the 7th inning here in Toronto. Sam Cosentino with Rance Mullinex. The Blue Jays and the Orioles are tied at 3 apiece. Brian Talbot out for his 2nd inning of work. Gave up a hit and walked 2, loading the bases in that 6th inning before striking out Julio Lugo to end it. The Orioles have severely missed opportunities in this game after going 5 for 16 with runners in scoring position yesterday, just 1 for 9 in this affair. Markakis to the left side. Travis Snyder running hard back at the track and makes the catch.
Third baseman, 23, Ty Wigginton.
Tallett's so good against left-handers, retires Markakis the lefty, and with Wigginton, the home run leader for the O's, set to come to the plate, Cito Gaston will go to the bullpen. Brian Tallett gives him an inning and a third, does not give up a run. Casey Jansen comes in to face Ty Wigginton next. Talent to face Ty Wigginton.
Another pitcher out of this Jays bullpen that's had a very solid season.
Struck out 60 over 65 and 2/3. Has a pretty tough task at hand here in Wigginton with Adam Jones on deck.
Well, Jansen, a two-pitch pitcher for the most part, a fastball and a slider, and when he's on top of his game, excellent control.
Jansen just so happy to come to camp this year with his health. He's battled injuries each of the last couple of seasons. Shut down everything and really focused on solely baseball in this offseason and getting himself in shape to be able to go the distance here this year. And he has put together a nice season.
Now you look at Jansen with his fastball and that slider and his ability to command. If he could add a changeup, just another pitch to show a hitter once in a while that you have to respect.
Continues to dig in that glove. And now is behind 3-1 to Ty Wigginton.
Could really give him another weapon to take to the mound with him and increase his effectiveness.
Wigginton offers at it, fouls it back. The Blue Jays have dominated this season series against Baltimore, going 12-0 before the last trip to Camden Yards, which was swept by the Orioles. The Blue Jays responded in kind here last night, winning the first game of this series 6-4. Wigginton hit hard to left field. Travis Snyder will watch it sail out of the park. Ty Wigginton, solo shot on a line to left, and the Orioles have retaken the lead.
Well, the last two pitches to Wigginton were sliders, little sliders, and he fouled one straight back and was dead on it and had a good swing at it, and Jansen follows it up with another slider and leaves it up just a little bit. And Wigginton hit it very hard.
High fives all around for Ty Wigginton, who picks up his 22nd home run of the year and has given the O's a 4-3 lead. Adam Jones, first pitch. We'll give it a look, but this one will go 10 rows up behind the plate.
Well, you talk about the Jays and their win last night here against the Orioles. In the last 23 ball games that the Orioles have played here against the Jays at Rogers Center, the Blue Jays have won 21 of them.
It's been quite a run here on home turf. Inside to Jones. The Blue Jays have fared quite well in their competition against the American League East, save for the Boston Red Sox. They've played Tampa extremely well. The Yankees 8-7 against New York, with the final 3 games of that set coming up beginning Monday. The Yankees now trailing in the American League East. Tampa on a bit of a streak now, having won 3 straight. New York has dropped its last 3, and Tampa sits in top spot. Backhanded by Hill on the run. Gets a Speedy Jones by a half a step. Good play, Aaron Hill.
Outstanding play, Aaron Hill. Ranging far to his right. Having to backhand the ball and then right himself enough to get the throw off, and a very, very nice play.
2 down for Jake Fox. Hill contributing with the bat and glove here for the Blue Jays in this game. Nice afternoon for Fox, 2 for 3. He's singled and he's doubled. Popped up to the right side. Lyle Overbay making his way towards the seats and completes the out. So Casey Jansen comes on in relief of Brian Tallett, but gives up a go-ahead home run to Ty Wigginton. Goes 4-3. Adam Lynn 1 for 2 on the afternoon, leads it off for the Jays. Looks at strike 1 from Guthrie. Guthrie has allowed just 5 hits without a walk. He has struck out 6. Adam Lind to the right side. Snyder bobbles it, but still able to control it enough to retire Lind. Commentator clothing provided in part by Z Zenya. Statistical information provided by StatsInc. And music provided by Universal Canada. One out for Edwin Encarnacion. After he finds the strike zone, and Encarnacion, who has struggled of late, he's 0 for 2 in this game. Really had a tough time since coming off the DL. Acquired along with Josh Renicky and Zach Stewart last year from Cincinnati. With Scott Rowland going the other way in that deal, and that has worked out extremely well for the Reds. For the Blue Jays side of the deal, Encarnacion has been able to hit with power at times. He's been somewhat inconsistent at third. Renicky's bounced up and down in each of the last 2 years, but Zach Stewart is the guy that really no one talks about. And Rance, you touched on it earlier in the game. The ability to have depth in starting pitching is key for any organization. As Encarnacion hits this ball to center field. Up and gone! Encarnacion! Straightaway center field on a line. And this game is tied. Number 16 in the season for Encarnacion.
A breaking ball that's in a pretty good spot, and he just goes down and digs it out. And you're right, Sam, this ball got out of here in a hurry. A line drive, pretty much straight away center field. And it was no doubter.
Molina, broken bat single over the head of Roberts and into right field.
Boy, and for a pitcher, that's tough. Wigginton hits a home run to give you a lead this ball game here in the bottom of the 7th, and you go right back out there and let the opposition tie it up with a home run.
So Molina will leave this game after Encarnacion's home run. Mike McCoy is the pinch runner. He'll get loose by running up and down the line, and Buck Showalter will go to the pen. Jeremy Guthrie's day is over after the Encarnacion home run and a single to Molina. Of the Whopper.
Well, it's been all about Bautista, but this time it's not the bat, it's the glove. A great running, diving catch into right center. He rights himself. The relay back to Overbay to complete the double play. His 12th assist on the season. That's second among AL outfielders. What a tremendous player.
So Buck Showalter goes to the pen. Mike Gonzalez, who started this year as the closer for Baltimore, comes in to face Travis Snyder with the lefty-lefty matchup. Gonzalez just 1-3 with a 4.50 ERA. Mike McCoy has come in to pinch run. Gonzalez works from that third base side of the rubber. Deals strike one to Travis Snyder, who's got himself a couple of hits. including his 11th home run of the year.
Both of those hits coming off breaking balls from Jeremy Guthrie.
It was the Blue Jays that really spelled the demise, or at least exposed the injury of Gonzalez, going back to early April. Pitch up and into Snyder. Lewis' second save in 3 tries against Toronto on the 9th of April, and then went on the DL.
Well, after a breaking ball away, trying to come back in hard with the fastball, it gets away from him a little bit. That was either try to finish off the at-bat or to speed him up again and set up this next pitch.
Lighthearted check over to pinch runner McCoy at first.
Well, with a 1-2 count to Snyder, not really an ideal opportunity or count for McCoy to run in.
And Snyder strikes out swinging. Lefty-lefty matchup proves to work well there for Buck Showalter.
Just a good fastball on the outer third.
Janelle Escobar now steps in. Escobar was hit by a pitch his last time up in the 6th. He was stranded at third base. First pitch from Gonzalez in there for a strike. Gonzalez on the DL with that strained left shoulder. And he remained on there for some time and has come back and has been very effective ever since. Came off the DL on the 21st of July and has held opponents to a 1.84 ERA in 17 appearances since then.
And Michael Gonzalez, ironically enough, left-handers hitting .333 against him, right-handers just 143, 7 for 49.
Cut on by Escobar, and he's now behind 1 and 2.
So for a left-hander, he's actually been much more effective against the right-handed hitters as opposed to the left.
Jose Bautista lurking in the on-deck circle. Mike McCoy's the pinch runner at first. He's got a lead. He's on the way, and Escobar fouls it back.
Well, the last home run by the Jays in this ball game off the bat of Encarnacion tied a single season record. In 2002, the Jays hit 33 against Tampa Bay. This year, 33 against the Orioles.
Have out-homered Baltimore 33-8 in the season series. That's a significant margin, and that has been the calling card of the Blue Jays all season long.
Well, the Jays have out-homered a lot of people this season. In total number, everybody in baseball. They can definitely hit the ball out of the park.
244, the franchise record, as McCoy is on the way again, and no throw down from Fox. McCoy has it stolen.
Well, in his previous attempt, he had second base stolen as well, but Escobar with 2 strikes had to protect, fouled the pitch off, but this time another very good jump.
Fox doesn't play a lot of catcher, and so although he had thrown out 3 of 8 runners before that steal by McCoy, Gonzalez falls off the mound awkwardly after issuing the walk to Escobar.
Well, and that's interesting. 3-2 with Bautista on deck. Threw Escobar a breaking ball and bounced it for ball 4. Either he didn't realize the situation, which I find unbelievable, or he has a lot of confidence in his ability to retire Bautista.
52 home runs, 118 driven in for Bautista. Fouled out of play.
Well, Bautista got a pitch to hit there. And Gonzalez lucky to get away with that last one.
Bautista has victimized all of his American League East opponents, but has 9 home runs against Baltimore. 9 this season alone. 9 here in the month of September. And the pitch is up from Gonzalez. Mike McCoy's at second, Escobar at first. Gonzalez deals. Cut there and missed by Bautista. Arbitration eligible is Jose Bautista, and Alex Anthopoulos, the Jays general manager, will have to sit down and decide whether or not that's the road he wants to take, or whether or not he wants to sign Bautista to a long-term deal. Gonzalez sets the 1-2, just up. Two balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Runners on the move. Bautista to the right side. Running hard is Snyder, but he'll have no chance to get it. It's out of play.
Here's the new records established by Bautista. Total 52, surpassing George Bell's 47 back in '87. Versus right-handed pitching, he's hit 45 of the 52. 33 here at Rogers Center. Post All-Star break versus American League East. There really isn't anything he hasn't done this year.
He has rewritten the franchise home run record book single-handedly. 2-2 again, and pretty good rip at that one. And once again, Bautista fouls it off. At times, Rance, when you watch him, are you amazed that he does have that big leg kick and that powerful swing, that he's still able to hone in on the ball as well as he does?
It's really amazing how still he's able to keep his head.
Half-hearted swing that time, and Gonzalez gets Bautista to end the inning. But Edwin Encarnacion is able to tie it up with his 16th of the year. We're knotted at 4. John Buck comes in to replace pinch runner Mike McCoy. And he will catch Josh Renicky, who comes in out of the pen to replace Casey Jansen.
Renicky will be making his 14th appearance on the season. League hitting just .239 against him. That's a pretty good number. He has pitched 17 2/3, averaging right at a strikeout per inning of work.
Renicky charged with trying to hold the lead here. Nolan Reimold fouls off the first pitch he sees on a check swing. It's been some time since Renicky last worked. He pitched against Baltimore back in the 14th of September. And you know, Rance, as happy as you are to have all of those extra pitchers, once the rosters expand in September, it can be challenging for the pitching coaches and the bullpen coach to find their pitchers enough work to keep them fresh. 0-2 from Renicky. Just misses away.
Well, especially when you factor in how often this starting rotation goes deep into a game, gets you into that 6th or 7th inning, and typically at that point it's Downs, Frazier, and Gregg. And of course, you know, you're trying to win every ball game that you can. There are some arms down there that you'd like to have the opportunity to take a look at if the opportunity presents itself. But in the meantime, you know, you want to win every game that you possibly can. You know, you're talking about the importance of 500 earlier. A lot of people don't think that's really that big a deal, but it is.
1-2 bounced in the dirt by Renicky.
You know, 81 and 81 or 82 and 80 looks a lot better than 79, 83, 78, 84. You know, it's like the difference between somewhat 249 and 250 or 299 and 300. For some reason, that number just looks a lot better.
Yeah, they always talk about the round numbers in baseball, and that's why it was such a big feat when Jose Bautista reached 50. I mean, he'd already broken the franchise mark that George Bell had held with his 47 home runs in 1987. But when he got to 50, I think even more people really started to pay attention to that mark. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Renicky strikes out Reimold to start the 8th inning.
Again, just a challenge fastball, and of course Renicky with a good arm. Getting up there to 94, 95 on occasion. You know, like a lot of young power arms, really hasn't been able to master the command yet.
His last outing on the 14th of September will one he'll surely want to forget. Did not retire anyone. Gave up 3 hits, 3 earned runs, and a walk. And so Renicky looking to respond here. Another solid performance by Brandon Snyder. The Orioles and Buck Showalter wanting to give Snyder a good long look here as we make our way towards the final week of the season. Some roster questions having to be answered all over Major League Baseball, and Snyder a part of that with Baltimore moving forward.
Well, Buck Showalter right now is just doing a lot of observing, because you got to make decisions. You look around out there on the field and you say, okay, who do we keep? Who do we not keep? And in the instance of a Snyder, you know, who do we take a look at here in September? Give him the opportunity to show us something that will carry over into next year.
You know, Rance, what has impressed me about Buck Showalter is the fact that, you know, he replaced Juan Samuel. Juan Samuel is now looking after things in the Dominican Republic right now, and a special assignment to Andy McPhail rather. But when you look at Showalter, he came in and kept all his coaches, and I think that that says a lot about him. Popped up to the right side. Overbay's there, so too is Hill, and it will be Overbay drifting back to right field to make the catch.
Well, since Buck Showalter came on board, 10 games over 500, and the numbers have really improved. The ERA down has been 3.65 over that time frame. Runners in scoring position, they've hit 3.02. Every aspect of their game has really come around since Showalter has taken over. And we talked to him about that. He said, you know, some of it was just getting some players back healthy. Brian Roberts being one. And he said, you know, the pitching's come around. They started to pitch deeper in the game. That allowed him to mix and match better with his bullpen, create the matchups that he would like to get in the last 3 innings of a game. And he said, in some respects, a little accountability. And saying, you know, this is on a few occasions, letting someone know that you don't appreciate the way they're going about it and that it needs to change.
And he had to do that with Felix PA going back to last weekend. He didn't run out of balls. Adam Jones ended up scoring on a pop out to second, which ended up tying the game as Asturis goes back up the middle. And so he pulled PA aside and said, hey, you still have to run that ball out. Now, you may not have made it to second base, but Jones was hustling on the play. He ends up scoring, tying the game. They go on to win it later. And so that accountability you speak of is very much a part of what Buck Showalter brings as a manager and commands from his players. 2-out base hit for Asturis moves the O's back to the top of the lineup for Brian Roberts. The Orioles took a 3-0 lead in the second inning. A couple of bases loaded walks issued by Ricky Romero. An RBI double by Brandon Snyder. Aaron Hill responded with a solo shot of his own. And these two teams have traded blows since. We're knotted at 4 here. This game to be decided by the bullpens. Popped up left side. Escobar coming in. Encarnacion is there and makes the catch. So a solid inning of work for Josh Renicky. He gives up a 2-out hit. For the right-hander Jim Johnson.
Well, since returning from the disabled list, he has pitched in 11 games, 9 scoreless appearances, overall a 4.43 ERA in 21 ball games. Opponents hitting .341 against him. You see 20 and a third innings of work, 30 hits allowed. But since his return from the DL, he's been very effective. And we'll see how it goes for him here this afternoon. He's going to face Wells, Overbay, and Hill.
Pretty tough trio to have to contend with in what is a 4-4 game here at the Rogers Center. The Blue Jays looking to improve to 14-3 over Baltimore this season. Ricky Romero started it. He went 5 innings. Gave up 5 hits, walked 5, struck out 3. Left trailing 3-2. The Blue Jays have used the big fly. 3 more home runs in this game.
Yeah, Johnson was on the disabled list for quite a stint. He went from April 30th. Was on the 60-day disabled list, didn't come off, and didn't pitch in another ball game until August the 27th.
Closed for a period of time last year, picking up 10 saves. Made 64 appearances, all out of the pen. Worked 70 innings. Struck out 43, and he adds a strikeout to his 2010 totals by getting Wells here in the bottom of the 8th.
Like a fastball with some late sink to it.
With 1 out, Johnson faces Overbay, who has factored into this game. The bases loaded, he was able to hit a ball deep enough to center field to bring in Travis Snyder. That was in the 6th inning, his most recent plate appearance. Stuck on 19 home runs. Only get a piece of that Johnson offering, and you look at John Buck with 18 home runs, Lyle Overbay with 19, and the Blue Jays would love to see those two reach that round number that we've touched on all game, Rance. The even 20. 2 hopper to the right side, easy play for Roberts.
Well, they have a chance if Buck hits 2 more and Overbay hits another one to have 6 or more players with 20+ home runs for the season.
And another one of those in that category is Aaron Hill, who earlier today hit his 25th.
Just missed another one in his next at bat. Flew out to the wall in left field.
Hit on the ground. Wigginton cuts off the shortstop Asturis. Across the diamond he goes, and quick work made of the Blue Jays in the bottom of the 8th. Just 8 pitches for Johnson to get out of the inning. Season finale between these two clubs. It's been a fantastic rebound season. for Sean Markham. Right away, Renicky comes out. Luke Scott is called in to pinch hit. And Cedal Gaston will make his way to the mound. He's had Scott Downs getting loose in that pen. And indeed, that's the situation that presents itself here. Scott Downs comes in. We'll tell you about his numbers when we return.
Here's a look at his numbers for the season. 2.78. He has really been outstanding pitching out of the bullpen for the Jays this year. He'll face Luke Scott. 27 home runs, 70 RBIs on the year. So good power.
Good thunder off the bench as a pinch hitter. Scott 1 for 8. But that one hit is a home run.
You know, Luke Scott, it's interesting. He's played winter ball in the past and in Venezuela, but he went one winter, went down to Venezuela, did not play winter ball, but went for the sole purpose of assisting and helping young children who had been abandoned. Providing them with baseball equipment and also at times when need be money as well. So it tells you a lot about that young man. It's very admirable that somebody would give his time, his off season, to help those less fortunate.
He walked out of the box to get a little break because he didn't like that 0-2 call, and now he's having words with Jim Reynolds, the home plate umpire.
Well, he hasn't liked either call. The first pitch he thought was a ball. He definitely thought the second one was down, and based upon the replay, it definitely looked like the ball was low. But he might be swinging if this one's anywhere in the vicinity right now. 0-2.
And Downs recognizing that, goes down and away, but Scott wasn't fighting that time.
Just get it a little bit closer.
There's a good look at Reynolds as he stares Scott down, urging him to get back in the box. Chopped foul to the right side by Scott. A remarkable season. Good pop. 27 home runs. Leads the O's. Wigginton has 22. His 22nd hit here today. He's in a hole here against Downs. Works away once again. Downs comes into this game with 24 holds. That's tied for third best in the American League. Renicky was scheduled to pitch here in the 9th inning, but once Scott was announced, Cito Gaston went to Downs, and Scott has put up a good fight. Comes back from that 0-2 hole to work the count full. The American League's top lefty on lefty is in the on deck circle in the form of Nick Markakis. Downs works, hit hard on the ground. Aaron Hill has it go through his legs and into right field. An error by Hill, and Scott is aboard.
Well, there's nothing more embarrassing than a ball going between your legs, because all you have to do is just keep the glove down. Stay low, stay down. And Hill came up just a fraction early, and the ball skips right underneath the glove.
And for Luke Scott, he showed his frustration. He gave the bat a flip, thinking that Hill had it in his back pocket. Markakis steps in. He's made a bit of a mechanical adjustment, lowering those hands and resting the bat on the shoulder. What would that do for him, Rance?
Well, it just kind of shortens everything up and quiets everything down. You don't have quite as much movement, and anytime you can eliminate a little bit of movement, is for most hitters. It doesn't apply to everyone, but for most hitters, it shortens up the swing a little bit.
Already such a sweet swing does Markakis. And a fixture in right field for years to come with Baltimore. Not much of a lead for Scott, and Downs misses the outside corner.
When you eliminate some movement, and the more compact that you can be, there's a number against Downs, 294, not surprising, the way he hits left-handers. But it allows for a little bit more. You don't have to be quite as perfect with your timing.
Pitch to Markakis, hit right back to Downs. A flip it to Escobar. One, and the double play is completed. Scott Downs, without hesitation, just threw it over the bag, and a good play there to complete the double play.
A nice job, number one. He feels his position well, good reactions, and then he takes a lot off the throw and times it to where the ball and Escobar arrive at second base at the same time. That makes it easy for the infielder to handle, and an easy relay to first base. And I can tell you right now, nobody feels a whole lot better about the situation than Aaron Hill at second base at this point.
That absolves his error that allowed Scott to reach. And so with 2 out, it's Downs against Wigginton. Breaking ball for a strike. Hill had that ball go right through the wickets, and Scott Downs, Escobar, and Overbay picked him up.
But Downs really did a great job of just a nice easy toss so that everybody arrives at the same time, and that makes it so much easier for an infielder when you're on the move like that towards the bag to be able to deal with the throw.
Competitive performances in pitcher's fielding practice, known as PFP, surely allows that situation to be aided. Hit to Wells, and up in the air, extending himself. Wells makes the catch. Wigginton thought he had extra bases, and the former Gold Glover says, "Oh no, sir, you don't." He extends to end the inning. Great catch by Wells. after a fine catch to end the top of the ninth.
Outstanding running catch to Rob Wigginton of extra bases. The ball was a line drive, hit very hard. He had to retreat quickly. And a fine over-the-shoulder catch going straight away.
Ball hit over your head, always the toughest to deal with. And Wells got on his horse and made a spectacular catch to give the Blue Jays a chance here in the bottom of the ninth. Tied at 4 for Adam Lind. Johnson out for his second inning of work and evens the count at 1-1. Late inning heroics have definitely been part of the plan for the Blue Jays here this year.
Well, in these situations, especially with a hitter with some power.
Right back to Johnson, and that's an easy play for the first out of the inning.
The tendency is try to hit the ball out of the ballpark, and most of the time when you try to do that, you're unsuccessful. Just stay within yourself and think of terms. Get a good pitch to hit and try to put a good swing on it. Try to hit the ball hard somewhere. And that's when you'll hit the ball out of the ballpark. It's only natural you want to be a hero in this situation. And then you try to do a little bit extra and you fail.
Edwin Encarnacion is homered his 16th. Tied this game at 4 in the bottom of the 7th inning. And for Encarnacion, that home run ended an 0-for-14 stretch. And they clips him, and Encarnacion is the second hit batsman of this game.
Looked like it just grazed the forearm.
So John McDonald comes in off the bench to pinch run for Encarnacion. Bringing John Buck to the plate for the first time in this game. He came in defensively in the top of the 9th inning and fouls off the first pitch he sees. For John Buck, it's been a career season. His 18 home runs have him in a tie for first as far as American League catchers are concerned.
Well, and you can't say enough about the job that he's done defensively as well. He's really done a great job of working with this young pitching staff, particularly this starting staff, and helping them mature and bring them along with their development.
The Blue Jays haven't had a walk-off since the 27th of August against Detroit. This pitch in the dirt, Fox corrals it, but John McDonald, alert and aware, takes the extra base.
A great base running and anticipation by John McDonald. When you take that secondary lead, you always anticipate something in the dirt, maybe getting away from the catcher. He sees it right away. He doesn't hesitate, and now he's in scoring position. If he hesitates for just a moment there, that ball didn't get that far away from the catcher, he would not have been able to move up. Some great base running.
Buck behind 1-2. McDonald's the runner at second. Jim Johnson dealing for Baltimore. Pitch misses low and away, and Fox did well to corral that.
Well, if you're John Buck, after back-to-back breaking balls, which were not close, maybe you're thinking in terms right here, if he's got to come back to the fastball now, 2-2.
Buck gets just a little piece of that.
He came back with a fastball, but he ran it in on his hands in a pretty good spot.
Donald with a quick peek at Brian Butterfield. He's the third base coach for the Jays. Looking for a little walk-off magic here in the bottom of the 9th.
Well, you got to remember, you got a great arm in center field and a great arm in right.
Donald extends his lead. Buck fouls it off, and Fox has it go off that bare hand. John Buck knows what that's all about. Similar play put him on the DL.
See it right off that bare hand, but you see how nice and relaxed he had that hand. And you keep it nice and relaxed like that, although it hurts. Oftentimes that prevents a serious injury. You get a hand in a fist where it's nice and tight, no give, you can break a bone very easily. But it still hurts. He'll be a little sore tomorrow.
2-2 again from Johnson. Broken bat. Plenty of Major League Baseball action coming your way after the end of this game. It's the Sox and Yanks here on Sportsnet. Boston really trying to put a damper into New York's postseason plan, trying to continually knock them further down, or at least further away from the Tampa Bay Rays. The Yanks have lost 3 straight. Tampa's won 3 straight, and Tampa now holds a half-game lead.
Well, you know the Red Sox would like to beat them just if nothing else out of spite, just to make them miserable.
2-2 pitch again. McDonald stuck at second. Buck caught looking. 2 down.
Well, there's been an awful lot of discussion about this pitch the entire afternoon. That's the fastball on the outside corner. And we've seen a lot of hitters from both sides question that pitch, but for the most part, at least based upon replay, it's been a strike.
It's been a strike most of the day.
And as hitters, you have to realize that even if you don't think it's a strike, and that's going to be a strike for the umpire on a given afternoon, you have to be aware of that, especially with 2 strikes, and protect just a little bit.
So with 2 down, it's Travis Snyder who gets a crack. Snyder 2 for 4 with a couple of runs scored, including his 11th home run hit back in the 3rd inning. Hit on the ground to the left side. Asturis scoops it and throws it across. A bang play at first. Snyder throws the helmet down. Did not like the call, and it's Bill Welke, the first base umpire, staring Snyder down, but regardless. He picked up his first save of the year with 2 outs in the 9th yesterday. Coming in to get Matt Wieters to fly out to left field.
Well, he really did a nice job yesterday, and then he inherited a 2-0 count to Wieters. The 2nd and 3rd and 2 out, and was first pitch ball 3. but was able to come back and get the fly out to left field and save it for the Jays. So he did a great job in yesterday's ball game.
John McDonald remains in the game after pinch running. He will stay and play third. Adam Jones leads it off for Baltimore here in the top of the 10th inning. There's pitch sliced foul. Great young talent, Jones. The Orioles really thought they had things locked down when they saw Markakis in right, Jones in center, and Reimold with a great rookie season last year in left. Now, it didn't work out so well for Reimold, but it looks as if he may be back on track, and a good young outfield for the future for Baltimore.
He has a single on the afternoon and has been robbed of extra bases by Bautista. That great play.
Carlson comes in right away and makes quick work of Jones.
Ranging far into right center with the diving catch. Well, that's just nothing more than a reaction where you have to believe he had that breaking ball in the back of his mind. He sees fastball and you just kind of flinch at it, try to foul it off.
Blue Jays 4-6 in extra innings this year. The Orioles have really excelled in this position. 13-3 in extras this season. Jake Fox has a couple of knocks. Average up to 218 now. As a little pop, 7 home runs for Fox. But Carlson has come out throwing strikes. Fox checks it.
Yeah, last year at times when Carlson struggled, it looked like his velocity was definitely down a little bit, but it's back up this year. He's up consistently around 88.
And strikes out Fox.
And
two strikeouts.
Excuse me, Sam. And occasionally will touch 90. And of course, the better that fastball gets, then the breaking ball gets sharper. That last one there at 89.
The 6th pitcher of the afternoon for the Blue Jays. Romero started it. Talbot, Jansen, Renicky, Downs, and now Carlson. One to Nolan Reimold. Baltimore looking for its 30th win under the tutelage of Buck Showalter. 29-19 coming in under Showalter's watch. The Orioles have had 3 different managers this year. Dave Tremblay, Juan Samuel, and now Buck Showalter. Carlson continues to throw strikes. Two working quickly. Just inside. Carlson started the walk, but he'll have to put the brakes on.
Well, based upon that angle, that was strike 3. Here we get it. That appeared to maybe be just inside.
To the third baseman, McDonald, across the diamond, and Reimold is retired. So Jesse Carlson comes in, strikes out 2, induces a ground ball. We move to the bottom of the 10th. Bautista September to remember so far.
Well, it has. Jose Bautista with 9 home runs in the month. Vernon Wells with 7. Of course, Tomey with 7. Curtis Granderson of the Yankees with 7. But Bautista and Wells have really stepped it up.
Buck Showalter goes to the closer, Koji Uehara.
Saved 10 games and 12 opportunities. Opponents hit .227 against him.
He has walked just 5 batters in the 39 innings in which he has worked. Those are outstanding numbers.
Impressive. 39 innings to 5 walks, 46 strikeouts.
Now Escobar has walked. He's been hit by a pitch. He's now reached base in 40 of the 54 games he's played as a Blue Jay. Mike Gonzalez had gone down. Koji Uehara did save some games, but since Buck Showalter has come aboard, he has been instituted as the closer and anointed in that fashion. Alfredo Simon closed for a considerable amount of time with 17 saves, but it's been Uehara taking on the bulk of that work lately.
And if for maybe no other reason than the fact that you know he's going to come into the ball game and he's going to throw strikes and make quality pitches. And if you don't have anybody down there that's really overpowering, why not go with someone who has great command?
Escobar, mighty hack to try and end it, but he swings through it. Strike one. Strike out, first out of the inning, rather.
Number 19. Jose Bautista.
It's been a tough afternoon for Jose Bautista. 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Trying to end it with one swing, but yanks it foul into the seats down the left field line.
Yeah, hanging breaking ball. And Bautista with a good swing, just a little out in front.
Uehara deals high in the zone. A mighty hack, and it fouled straight back.
Well, the difference here this afternoon as opposed to last night and even the night before is the fact that Bautista, when he's gotten a couple of pitches to hit, he's missed them today.
In the dirt, and the count even now at 2-2.
You go back to yesterday, he only swung at 3 pitches. 2 of them left the ballpark. 1 of them he fouled straight back. And he's had a few pitches to hit here today, but he hasn't been able to square them up.
2-2 from Uehara. Hit to left center field. Nolan Reimold chasing it back and in front of the track makes the catch. Bautista 0 for 5 with that flyout. Well, the home run prowess continues. Vernon Wells in his 7th September home runs, including his 30th of the season last night. 1 for 4 in the afternoon for Wells. First pitch swinging, pops it up to the right side. Markakis charging hard. It hangs up there long enough, and the Blue Jays go quietly here in the bottom of the 10th inning. Extra innings will continue when we return. David Percy.
Hard throwing left-hander David Percy. Well, look at that opponent's batting average against, just .209. He has been dominant.
On occasion in this game, we have talked a little bit about pitching depth, and Percy was drafted as a starter, and only this year in spring training did the Blue Jays feel that he may be better served in the bullpen. And so he was sent to AAA Las Vegas to work on basically limiting his repertoire and throwing more strikes. And to this point has really turned things around. And again, speaking to that pitching depth, if he can't be successful as a starter, still very much a valuable role in the waiting coming out of the pen. Works to Snyder, hit hard but foul.
Well, it put him in a position also where he doesn't have to worry about going through the lineup 2 or 3 times. All he's got to do is possibly at the most go through the lineup just once. He doesn't have to hold anything back. He does have an outstanding arm, throws very hard, so you can go out there for an inning or two and just let it go and don't try to hold anything in reserve. And really, pitching out of the bullpen, you just need to be able to command 2 pitches. You don't have to have command of 3, maybe even 4.
Percy last worked a week ago. The 18th of September against Boston at Fenway Park. In that game, picked up a hold, allowed 1 hit over 2/3 of an inning while striking out a bat. 2-2 from Percy. In the air to the right side, Lyle Overbay busting in, so too is Aaron Hill, and it'll be Hill. And he takes it at the last second, 1 down. Number 9 hole hitter is Cesar Asturis. Asturis has reached twice in this game. He's 1 for 3 with a walk. Came up with the Blue Jays in 2001 before being dealt to LA. Earned a Gold Glove while playing short for the Dodgers. Formed a great friendship with Vernon Wells when the two played together in the minor leagues. And for Asturis, he has carved out a nice career. He and Paul Quantrill going to the Dodgers for Luke Prokopec and Chad Ricketts. Both whom failed to have any sort of lengthened career with the Blue Jays. Quantrill, of course, went from the Dodgers to the Yankees and is now a big part of Baseball Canada's coaching program. Asturis goes up in the zone, and he's now behind 1-2. Rance, you look at guys like Jansen and Renicky and now Percy, those who really haven't worked a lot over the last week to 10 days, and they've all done a pretty good job coming in and throwing strikes.
They haven't. That sometimes can be a difficult thing to do when you don't get a lot of work. You get a little bit rusty. No matter how much you throw on the side, it's completely different when you enter the ball game.
Slapped in the air to right. Jose Bautista drifting towards the line. 2 down. I think you really have to credit Bruce Walton, Rick Langford, Alex Andriopoulos, the bullpen catcher, because those guys are A, required for the scheduling, B, required for the supervision, and C, you got to have someone to catch you. So that combination has done a good job here keeping these arms fresh with so many of them there.
And some of these young pitchers have spent a lot of time in AAA this year. You got to you go back to the philosophy within the entire organization. I know Dave LaRoche, former major league pitcher, a teammate of mine, was the pitching coach in AAA Las Vegas this year. So it's just from top to bottom, they're doing a very good job of bringing these young arms along. And of course, one of the first things you want to establish is you have to be able to command and throw strikes at any level.
Nice to see Dane Johnson awarded for his work here on Webster Award weekend with the Blue Jays, for his service and dedication developing players throughout various levels of the minor leagues, and has been a great soldier for the Blue Jays. And a lot of these young pitchers at one point or another that have come up through the organization have worked with Dane Johnson.
Well, it's so important that everyone is on the same page.
Percy to Roberts. This one too popped in the air. Lyle Overbay coming down the line and standing on it makes the catch. So yeoman's work by David Percy. In fact, this entire bullpen for the Jays has looked great here today. Buck Showalter. He is the 5th pitcher to work for Buck Showalter here this afternoon.
Working in his 50th game here this afternoon. With a serviceable left-hander over his career. He has at times started and, of course, now pitching out of the bullpen. And a strike thrower, pretty much.
He's got Overbay, Hill, and Lynn to deal with here in the bottom of the 11th inning. We are knotted at 4 here at the Rogers Center. First pitch swinging for Overbay. Hendrickson came in and issued a bases loaded walk in yesterday's game, in what was eventually a 6-4 win. Lyle Overbay back to the track. Overbay walk it off! Number 20 of the year. The Blue Jays win it in the bottom of the 11th. 5-4 on Lyle Overbay's walk-off home run.
And what a way to hit number 20. A walk-off in the 11th for the Jays. And another big win here this afternoon.
Lefty versus lefty. And Overbay hits his 20th of the year.
And it was a no-doubter. From the moment it left the bat, this one was gone. You see his reaction right here.
He knows it's all head taps, fist pumps, and handshakes for Lyle Overbay. What a way to pick up your 20th. 5-4 win for the Jays thanks to Lyle Overbay. His 20th of the year. And thanks to that fourth Toronto home run, Sharp has awarded one lucky winner a 52-inch Quadron TV and Blu-ray player. Quadron, just add yellow. To see if you've won or to enter, visit hitahomerunwithsharp.ca. The Blue Jays in walk-off fashion on Lyle Overbay's 20th. For Rance Molinex, I'm Sam Cosentino. The rest of our crew saying good night.